Call meeting to order. All trustees are in attendance, so let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, public comment and input. I believe we do have one resident here today that would like to make a public comment. Can you state your name and where you live, please?
Shirley Hartville, 3524 Elm Tree Court.
What would you like to tell us today, Shirley?
Why is it that we're so persistent in cutting down my tree stump? And I was hoping that it would be an issue that could have been resolved quietly and could have been left alone. However, what was a personal issue has now become a board issue. So you want me to name off all of the crap that's going on?
You can share, I guess, when did you cut down your tree, Shirley? 2019?
I believe it was.
Okay. It's been constant harassment and just miss. I don't mind cutting the tree stump down, but I believe when I talked to you, you said you could get it for $500. Not the whole tree, just that we were looking into removing the tree stump and grounding it out, because you have to grind down the stump after.
At $500?
Yeah, roughly.
Okay, I'm gonna agree to that. But I also wanna see the other two stumps come down.
Okay.
They just as annoying to me as mine is to them.
All right, anything else, Shirley, that you want to share?
I don't want to have the police called on me because I'm not conforming to certain people's thing that they think I should be. And I've had the police called on me because I had an old car in the driveway and it had a very old license plate on it because it was never driven. I put a for sale sign on it. Police were called about that. Somebody had the nerve to come over and poop in my window well. And those glasses that I gave you, they were found in my backyard, in the window well. I have had to replace 3 mailboxes. Somebody take great delight in messing with mine. And if I'm taking cabinets out and putting new cabinets in, is not building. So why do I need a builder's permit? And I had someone coming over, cutting my grass, which we had had a very long time. When they got done being harassed, they quit coming. So that's my thing. I love to live in peace.
Can you tell me how someone was harassed?
Huh?
How was somebody harassed mowing your lawn? Can you share anything?
How was they harassed?
Right.
I said I had a person coming over that cut my yard. They had been doing it for like maybe 3 years previous.
Right.
And when they got done visiting with some of my neighbors, they stopped coming.
Oh, okay.
I suppose they took issue with what was said. I have no idea.
Okay.
but I'm pretty plain spoken, and I say to people what I want to say.
Okay, well, thank you for.
But it all began with a conversation about when was I gonna move.
I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you for sharing, Shirley.
And you could be taking that I might have been threatened. Because if my wife is gonna fight, I'm in a fight with her. Could be a threat. And it's been going on since before the pandemic.
Okay.
How long my friend been dead? About 5 years. Started before then, so I'm guesstimating 8, maybe 9, 10 years.
Okay. Well, as I told you, we've got part of a board meeting, and then we're gonna go into closed session. So during closed session, everyone has to leave except for the board members and our clerk treasurer, and our lawyer. And then we'll come back in. I don't know if we'll make any decisions about trees tonight, but that's just the way the process works.
Well, like I said, if you insist on taking the stump out, because it is just as annoying to me as theirs is to me. But why would you go and make an ordinance in order to do it? But I mean, this is the most prettiest place on the planet. When my mother was living, and the coon said that she could fish in the little pond there on their yard, here comes somebody else from way over left field, had nothing to do with it. Talk about this is my fish. And I asked him politely, when did you have a fish? Or when did God give him the power to do so?
Okay, well, tonight's topic is trees, but I do appreciate you, and tree stumps. I do appreciate you sharing what you shared. And I think we're gonna move on, and we'll see what happens after the board meeting tonight. Okay?
Well, we kind of know how that's gonna go.
We don't. I would not say that. I'm a pretty open-minded person.
I'm amenable to it as long as the other stumps come out.
Okay, I appreciate your,
And do not put it on my tax. You can give me the bill
okay,
and we'll settle it.
okay. We will take that into consideration as well. Thank you, Shirley. I don't think there's any other public comment or input tonight. So moving ahead, I'd like to make a motion to consent the agenda. Could someone make a motion to consent the agenda?
I move to consent the agenda.
Motion made by trustee Hinkle, a second.
Second.
Second by trustee Johnson. The sheriff is not here tonight. He came last week. He didn't get the memo that we moved the meeting, so we're going to move on with reports. Some reports from the president. We've been working on a bid. We're going to have the bid out for windows in early November. Kurt Root has checked with 3 other companies that are also interested in looking at our windows. The price is weather tight. They did send me what they would, if we did everything, it was over $400,000 for all 5 buildings. So the prices, Kurt and I have talked a couple times, the prices are going to continue to go up, so we're trying to get something locked into place so we can get working on this in spring. I don't know what that'll look like. We'll have to decide as a board if we're going to do it in stages or steps. But feel free to start thinking now. So if we do put this on the agenda for November, we can start coming up with some questions or some ideas. Just something to keep thinking about. Basketball hoops are in the gym, which is great. They did remove the old ones. We actually thought maybe we could use the old ones outside, but they were way too heavy. So the new basketball hoops are in. Gym is being rented quite a bit. Regarding the little library, Greg Talick has promised me that the little libraries are going to be done this weekend. Linda possibly may paint them if she's feeling up to it. And then we'll hopefully have the maintenance guys put them in the park before the ground gets too cold. So keep an eye out for that. I'm guessing by, hopefully by trick-or-treating time,
it's all done, we'll see. I'll take the lead on the car show since I was here. We had over 100 cars at our classic car show. Thank you to Barb, Kelly, Kelly Glasson, Dennis Goff, my husband, that all came and helped to work. It was an amazing event. We made over $1,500 in profit, which went directly back into our events fund, which is great. And Kelly Glasson, I asked her to be the new chair for the car show, and she was super excited about it. So I'm really excited. If you don't know who Kelly is, she lives directly across from Ernie Rossi. And she knows way more about classic cars than I do. And Dennis will definitely be involved, but Kelly really has it together. So I'm really happy about that, because that is, as much as a pain as it is to do, it really does run itself, but it really is our feeder for building into our events fund. So whenever anybody asks where does the money go for the car show, it really does all go back to our events. So that's great, especially since we've added some new events to the village. Just a reminder, trick-or-treating for Halloween is on Tuesday, October 31st, I believe from 5 to 7. Right? 5 to 7. I was like, I can look it up. But we're following City of Racine, as we normally do. And then we are working on some ideas for the turkey trot. So Linda, if you want to help. I was like, I don't know what we're doing with the turkey trot, but it is on Thanksgiving. People will be running. I will not be running. I will be serving hot cider or something. And I believe it's at 10 a.m. on Thanksgiving. So if you feel like coming out and walking or trotting or whatever, feel free. People are meeting at the park. So those are my president's notes. Trustee Hinkle, do you have anything to report?
Nothing other than the tree in front is going to be cut down. I was just informed of that.
The one right on the village property? Because
it's
it fell down and it was hollow inside, so bummer. Trustee Johnson?
I do not.
Trustee Rude?
Nothing at this time.
Trustee Stein?
No report.
Trustee Studi? Trustee Whitick?
Nothing.
Administrator Shaw?
Yeah, so we do have a new tenant in 2B, building 2B. It's a small church, and we were able to sign a lease. They're paying $900 a month plus $175 for utilities now, so that increases income. Working on a lot of maintenance requests and getting them situated. They just moved in October 1st, so we're going through that process. We may possibly get a new tenant and building one, the lower unit as well, because I put an ad out and we received like 100 responses. So it's almost guaranteed like next month that we'll have another tenant, so we'll be at like full capacity. We kind of looking at the basketball hoops inside the gym to bring them to the outside, but they didn't fit, so that's not something we're gonna do, but that was an idea. But moving forward, maybe you can think about that in the future.
Did we save them?
No, they jumped them.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
They were really heavy.
Sure.
Yep, so that's a kind of a good idea. Then it's a little bit more things you can do with green space too. And then you kind of went over the car show, so it was a really good turnout for that. So we're really excited about that. Yes, absolutely. And then, again, for the tree, we're gonna be working on that in the next couple of weeks to get that taken down as well in the front, so that's unexpected. And then also, I wanted to talk about t-shirts. I'll bring one to the next board meeting so that you guys can kind of look at it and let me know what you think, so we can all get shirts and things. And then I had some ideas, like a trunk or treat for next year. So that's kind of a big thing, like getting to know people in the village and maybe you don't want to let people in the parking lot.
Love that idea.
Yeah.
I do. We used to do that with our church. And it's a really good time. We get popcorn machines and hot dogs and stuff like that. It's really a community building thing. So
Yeah.
that's my opinion.
Yeah, and then you get to know everyone, and even everyone that's rented out in the complex as well. Like,
Yeah.
in the little lease, they can come out and they can hand out candy that
Yeah.
way. And we can do it earlier too, because it gets really cold.
She wanted to do it this October. And then
Yeah.
she's like, okay, I was wrong. It's too late. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be tough.
But I
Yeah.
think I've had probably several families ask why we don't ever do one. And so Lataria was like, I think we really should look at it for next year, so I think it'd be good.
My schools will be into it as well.
Yeah, it's a fun
Yeah,
event.
Yeah, it's a good way to engage with the community. And also, I was thinking maybe we could do some type of Christmas caroling in the village. And this is something that was brought up in the past. I'm not sure who brought it
I
up.
think Chris.
I did it
Chris,
one
oh,
year.
yeah, you did it when you were with Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, maybe not this year, but next
Mhm.
year, something to think about.
Awesome.
Any questions? Oh, Easter, yeah, I want that too. Yep, so that is my report for today.
Terry, I don't want to keep being a dead horse, but.
Oh, yes, that,
Yeah, I noticed just as of yesterday that section of one there is just.
you heard it?
Yeah.
Did I?
Yes.
We gotta call the city of Racine about that and get them to take care of it.
All right, that's on my to-do list.
Yeah, I don't know if it's city or county, it might be county.
Maybe county, that is a county highway, just to come and trim it, right? Public Works?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would just call Public Works, call county.
All righty.
Yeah, I heard from a couple of different people, yeah, it's really there. Okay.
I thought, yeah, it's such a weird,
Okay. It's just a little, you read those things, okay,
Yeah.
crazy.
it's a weird spot in the
Mhm.
village. Okay, sheriff's report, can I have you speak up?
Yes,
Great,
hi.
thanks for being here, sorry you were here last.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm late. So
No, that's okay.
You guys have the report in front of you? You don't?
No,
I'll just read it off for you.
that's okay, go ahead.
I'm Sergeant Fazio with the Sheriff's Office. So, looks like in the month of September, we spent 5 hours in the village. Throughout the month, deputies conducted 20 crime preventions in the village at Elmwood Park. Several traffic stops, issuing the following citations for non-registration. We're continuing to maintain an active presence. Looks like we had a billable time for an invoice of $300. Did you guys have any questions or concerns? Anything that we need to focus on more?
I don't. Does anybody have any questions, concerns? Anything? Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I walk a lot, Taylor Avenue, that double yellow line doesn't mean a thing.
So you're saying a lot of people are passing the double yellow line? Taylor and what, the other, across the street
All the
or just
way, all the way from,
all on Taylor?
yeah, all of it.
Okay.
And I'm walking, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, there seems to be quite.
So kind of reckless driving and passing in no passing zones?
Exactly, it's a double yellow.
Okay. I'll check, I know we have a number of extra attentions for Taylor Avenue already because of the way people drive, but I will,
Two, you mean two through the stop sign at the same time the other morning, Kurt?
Yeah,
I was sitting there, and here comes a dually with the car hauler on the back doing about 60, didn't even think about the stop
no,
sign.
I saw one double, we passed on the double yellow and went right through the stop sign.
okay, I will,
They're there.
yeah, I'm gonna look at the extra attentions that we do have already, and if we don't have anything for that, I will, have them make another one, the deputies will try to stop out and
Thank you.
keep an eye on it, so.
Thank you.
You guys only have two of the speed limit deals you set out to, correct?
The trailers?
Yeah.
I believe so, I don't deal with the trailers too much, like Goodwin does, but I think he did mention that we had one or two out here.
Okay, yeah, 'cause we did one a couple of years ago on Lathrop, and it helped for a little bit, but now it's just laughable,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Okay.
But I will certainly, create an extra attention for that if we don't have one, and, I'll let Lieutenant Guerin know.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, anyone, anything else?
Thank you
All
very
right.
much. Thanks for being here.
Have a good night.
You too.
Be safe.
Thank you.
Okay, we need a motion to go into closed session to have staff and Attorney Mark Kingston regarding ordinance enforcement and the grandfather clause of tree stumps in the village. Can I have a motion?
I'll move to go into closed session regarding the ordinance enforcement and grandfather clause.
Is there a second? Second? Okay, first by trustee Hinkle, second by trustee Stein, and we are in closed session.
See ya.
So,
Nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
okay, so moving on to new business, we are here to hear about the presentation of the Elmwood Park 2024 budget. And Kendall and Tyria, are you tag teaming this, or is it all Tyria?
90% Lataria, 10% me.
Got it, okay, go ahead, Tyria.
Alrighty, everyone, so we're going to be presenting the budget today for 2024.
You'll see a copy of the budget in your little packet.
Everyone follow along? Alrighty.
And I know that Chris usually had the big, nice booklets ready for you. We'll have those ready for you within the next week or so. This is the best we could do under the circumstances of our computers breaking down and stuff, so.
Yeah. Right.
Alrighty, so the first page here is just our organization chart and how everything works in the village. You have the board of trustees, first the village residents, then the board of trustees, then the village president, and then down the middle, village administrator. The role has been split, so there's a clerk treasurer as well. And then we have the finance chair over here. Do you guys see the arrow? Yeah, you do. The weed commissioners, street and lights and sign commissioners, and road and sewer commissioner, and under village president as well, the planning commission, board of appeals, village attorney and assessor. And down below, you have the village inspectors and election officials. And way at the bottom here, you have the maintenance staff, hall openers and closers, and hall, gym, rental, and salesperson. And then I'd like to bring up our village mission statement and values. So this 2024 budget reflects the village's ongoing mission, providing high standard of living to all residents by offering quality municipal services, along with creating a safe and healthy and active environment in a park-like setting. And the values there is value 1, strong sense of community, 2, safe and healthy community, 3, a park-like atmosphere, 4, a strong infrastructure, and 5, what the budget's about, fiscally responsible community for both the residents and the government. So here I have some challenges and accomplishments to highlight from 2023. So some of the challenges that we faced were just issues with the village street lamps, the outages, and that being unexpected. The complex drive here, like having it re-asphalted and having it redone, and constantly working on this windows project due to having delays and having to put a new bid in and looking into the spring of 2024. And again, those unexpected repairs needed. And then for the accomplishments that we have, we saw increased income from fines and interest, completed Hazer Park construction and had the grand opening in June. And we got new tenants in building 2B and renewed the lease with Evergreen Academy. And continuous updates and presence on the village website, emails, starting on social media like Facebook, connecting that way, and meetings that are recorded. And also we had increased engagement with the community overall. So for the 2024 budget split up, like it was last year, we had a tax levy budget, and that budget is what we collect from government revenues, and then we have our lease operations budget, and that is made through the village income. So for income for 2024, you see the big number here, the $286,584. This went down due to having less debt. And this is for tax revenue for the tax levy budget. And down here, do you see the notes? There's been a 3% change, a decrease. So there's 115,000 for state amount levy and 171,000 for debt obligation payments. So dividing this amongst the assessed value of the village places the tax rate at 5.07, so down at least 1% from last year, so 18% decrease. Overall, 18% decrease. So this is the big one here for the intergovernmental revenues, due to the tax levy budget. If you look here, there's a 314% increase. Okay, so that big increase came from shared revenue. This revenue needs to be allocated for funds to work on things that we need, such as building public infrastructure, for the roads, and reconstruction projects and streetlights. So things like that is what we can use it for. And this is passed with the assembly. Any questions on this one?
Yeah, real quick. So that's from the state?
Yes.
The 52,807.
Yeah, normally we would get like maybe 15,000 a year.
Okay, do you know why that increased?
Yeah, the state assembly, all the municipalities came together this year
Okay,
and asked the state assembly to please increase that for different reasons.
okay, sure.
And they voted on that, and all the municipalities are getting a giant jump in the amount of state revenue they're getting for 2024.
All right,
And would they like to see that increase used in infrastructure?
I'm assuming there's rules?
Streetlights.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a list of
there's
stuff.
the roads.
we need that.
Right, okay.
And so it'll show in the budget under those line items.
Is that just for 1 year? It's a one-off?
No,
So the percentage that we're getting is gonna be, or this amount will be similar next year?
hopefully it changes.
Yeah.
Unless it changes?
Unless they change it, yeah.
Sure, okay, cool.
So then the next page is licenses and permits. It hasn't been a lot of changes there. Just 17% with the builder permits, but really stayed around the same. So the tax levy budget continued. We're going to talk about the income. So in total, for governmental income is $373,077. And again, it's not many changes here, as you can see here. And we put this into the budget as well, and then Kendall's gonna kind of talk about it a little bit more.
So when we got audited this spring, the auditors wanted to see our reserve funds being allocated in our public budget for how we want to spend our money. So in this last year, or actually this current year, we had all that money from the roads loan being used for capital outlay improvements. And they would have liked to see in our 2023 budget a line item saying, we're gonna be using this, $400,000 on a new road project. They want it to be in there. So to appease the auditors, we are showing in our budget that we are gonna be taking money from our reserves, which is our window loan, a line item of $257,000. And we're gonna put that in the expense of a window project. So we're showing where we're taking our reserve funds right now, where it's sitting, and moving it into a line item, just to show the public where that money is being
Where the
spent.
intention is going to be.
Right.
So this is a whole repeat required that we have to do this in case
No,
something
no.
happens.
But we just have this
But-
money sitting in
And it
reserves,
looks like it's
and we
just
just
sitting there.
spend it when the bills come.
Got it.
This shows it's more accountability.
We're not just holding
Yeah.
it up.
It can be changed though.
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
yeah.
And we're not doing the roads until 2025.
Excuse me.
This doesn't affect the road.
No, this is just
Yeah.
the window money that was allocated
Okay,
for
good.
windows.
That we haven't,
Yeah, that we haven't used yet.
Sure.
all right,
Yeah.
just checking.
So again, that's listed in the budget due to auditing purposes, and we just need to make it known what we plan to do with those funds.
Okay.
So the next slide is just a chart of how things are going.
Just a different way. Just a different way.
Yeah, it's just a different way of your visual word. So then the next portion is going to be the expenses for debt obligations. So we do have about 2 years remaining on our complex debt. And then we have another 12 years on phase 1 road debt. and 8 years remaining on the complex project, so the windows and doors. Expenses for the tax levy budget. Here, we just had an increase in association dues this year due to like trainings and things. Also, there's gonna be an increase for election and wage expenses here. So it's kind of a big number, 171%, and that's due to having the 4 elections plus the presidential election in 2024, so just planning ahead with that. So the highlighter might not be good to see because I can't really see it on my paper here, but I'll go ahead and here. So, sorry about that, guys. So for payroll, we updated wages for contracted and elected employees, and also there's an increase in maintenance staff hourly salaries by $1. So here you can see like a clear picture of, there we go. Just the expenses for like salaries, so payroll expenses for everyone. You see that, okay? So the total payroll expenses will be $115,000 roughly for 2024. Is everyone included? The next one will be public safety. The contractual increase for fire and dispatch that goes up every year due to the contract, so that went up just to 3%. But then we just signed the police and sheriff contract, pretty much the same as what it was. So the next one here is going to be the public works expenses. So road maintenance, we just plugged in a larger number here for 2024. And there was an increased yearly cost with John's Disposal, and we added the new Kaiser Park line for future park maintenance on the sheet. Because now we have the park. Yeah. And increased road and street lighting budget to reflect the increase in Wisconsin state revenue in 2024. So we have more money for that. So we use them on infrastructure improvements overall.
And if anybody asks, just because we're talking about public works, when the water line broke on Oak Tree Lane, they repaired it, but not a very great job of it. So I asked Lataria, because I actually forgot about it until I was walking the other day.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna call the water department and see when they're coming back out to fix it, because it looks terrible. And that was a new road. That was a new road, and it looks terrible. So it's on her to-do list.
With the winter coming up, that's.
Yeah, so we have to get that fixed.
Like tomorrow.
So that's the number one thing on my list too, as well.
Also remind me, I have a question for you before you leave tonight about somebody that put in, looks like a drain from a sump pump that went like to the road, but it's like underneath. And it's kitty corner from John Leonard's house, so I wanted to know if he saw it, because Charles and I were like, this does not look right. I just wanted to create a sinkhole or something out of the ground, I don't know where it's.
Probably would.
Yeah, so that's a kind of a concern that I had. And I don't think they probably got a permit for it, because I don't know if you need one, but it did make me a little bit concerned that it's gonna wreck the road. I just don't know where it went. It's actually your neighbor. Do you know what I'm talking about? I don't know what he was doing.
I talked to him, I just seen him out there with sod and digging and all that.
I think he just buried his.
Where's it going? So I don't know if I need to knock on the door and say, just checking, where's your water going? Like, you can't, I don't think you can do that with some people. Sorry, I'm taking away from the presentation. I don't mean to do that, but I just was thinking.
Thank
Out
you.
loud. Go ahead.
So here, again, we just had that large increase because of our funds that we received for the road maintenance. So something to look forward to.
That's good.
And then here we have the expenses. So we have holding $44K in reserves and $5K in the lift station fund to be utilized with the sewer system. for our investments. Not a lot of big changes there. The next slide is, again, a pie chart with all the expenses listed. So you can see visually. So we've got the debt obligations, which is the biggest one. The next portion of the budget is going to be the rental income budget. So all these buildings continue to bring in the revenue. There's the constant standard increase for current tenants at 3%. And again, we have those new tenants in 2B. And I'm really looking forward to filling the space in building 1 in the basement. So then we're pretty much at full capacity. So it's very exciting. And this fluctuates just because they're leasing. But we have Evergreen Academy for at least 2 more years, and then the new lease is a year lease. Let's see here. And again, this is the pie chart that shows everything overall. And this is our maintenance expenditure, so there's been an increase in maintenance overall. So the fuel expenses have been taken out pretty much. If there was, with the previous administrator, he had some fuel costs, so that's been cut down. Then if you look at Taylor Complex, this is included, like the increase, because there's anticipated needs for the air conditioners and furnaces. So we just wanted to include that in the budget, just so for the future to be ready, because they have been going out and things like that. And right here for BB School, that had a major change, because in the past they had a lot of work done, so we haven't had as many issues with BB School or Evergreen Academy. So looking forward, we're not anticipating more costs for that grant. All right, so this is the Taylor Complex expenditures continued. So the utilities adjusted cover actuals. Building 2A, the costs are reimbursed for half of the building, or for half, and then buildings number 4 and 5, they're maintained by the tenants because they have the whole building. So you don't bill them for that. Overall, there's a decrease by 5% for cost. And it continues to be a steady, strong source of income with leasing out the buildings. And again, this is just a pie chart, just to show you how things are going. So the total expense last year was $567,526, and then this year coming up, $596,494. And then here, this is just like the chart, just letting you know how trends have been since 2004. So we're here, 2023, there was a village reassessment that occurred, and then the current rate for 2024 budget is a little lower. And then what we're anticipating here in 2026, the Taylor Complex debt obligation will be paid off, they'll be complete. So basically the levy is the assessed value. The levy is is divided by the assessed value, that's how you get the tax rate. So last year we were at $6.16 for every $1,000 of property assessed, and this year, we're at $5.07. So the rate went down this year overall.
$5.07, is that what you said?
$5.07 from $6.16.
Because Chris was like, our mill rate went down, we should have.
So if residents ask,
Mm-hmm.
that number looks good on paper, but because our assessments went up, our houses are worth more, there's probably a good chance that we will be paying more in taxes still. Because 6% on 100,000 is one number, 5% on 150 or 175,000 is another number. So if residents ask, you can incline
So it's 507 now, what was it before?
$6.16. So the mill rate did go down though, so it's kind of a win. And then, this, again, the budget book will be available in the coming week, so that I would like you guys to review it and let us know what you think. We want to get it out for the next board meeting, so that we can get it approved and ready to go. So, any questions?
Good job. I do have one question, over into expenses for, both public safety and road maintenance. Could you just explain, I wasn't really paying attention, I guess, or you have $1,000 in the '23 budget and it's going up to $20,000 in 2024?
We had that big increase in the state revenue, and they want to see us use that increase in infrastructure projects. And so
that's
we
what-
put a
okay.
lot of extra money in the roads
So-
and the lights to help buffer that. So if there's any portion of the roads in the village that does need help before we replace them with new ones in a few years, we can actually put more money on that.
Okay.
Chris had said something about, there's some resurfacing things you can do to the old roads to help them last a little longer. We could look into projects like that.
So that comes from the state shared revenue. Thank you.
And we can use it like on lights and things like that too.
Okay.
We have a lot of room to do some nice projects.
And if anybody asks about Lathrop, 2025, they told me 2025, you still haven't got me a letter. If you wanted to like fight that, or you just want to wait till 2025.
I'll be here in 2025.
So somebody just emailed me yesterday and asked, when is, they're like, do you know how bad the road is on Lathrop Avenue? And I'm like, yes, I do. And I'm sorry, it is not our responsibility. It is county, it's considered a county highway. So. But I did encourage them to reach out to the county and let them know. So,
That doesn't.
okay, any other questions for Letiria or Kendall?
Thank you very much.
Good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
This was a,
And again, you can email me, call, we're in office, so.
okay, on to the next new business item, discussion of village reimbursement policy in regards to Dennis Goff. So I brought to your attention at the last board meeting, and then we do have to kind of, I think, have a vote here. I did not make copies, but if you'd like to take a look at them. When we have the car show, one of our village residents has helped with the car show since it started, before I was even on the board. And he always purchased the dash plaques. They're these little plaques that they get as like a souvenir. And they always amounted up to about $250. He did not get reimbursed for them, even though I had told him when I was the events chair that he had to he had to bring the money to Chris, or bring the receipts to Chris to get reimbursed. He brought those over to me in September and said, I really need to get reimbursed for these, Allie. And they're 2018, 2019, 2021, and 2022. No 2020 because of COVID. So it amounts to just under $1,000. I told him I could not just give him back money that he had, like there is a, you have to get reimbursed within that year. And I said, I don't know what to tell you. So
is it something he just didn't turn them in?
he just never turned them in.
Okay.
He just held on to them.
Means total return.
And I told him to turn them in, definitely in the last 2 years, because I've always said, if you want to get reimbursed, give your receipts to Chris, and he just never did it. I really was kind of astounded, like, Dennis, like, I don't know that we can necessarily reimburse you. I just need to know from the board, the car show has been profitable. I just need to know your opinion and what you would like to do, because I feel like, I don't know, I have my own opinions, I
Let's
just
just
need
empty
to.
out the revenue that was
Yes,
in from, and that revenue then would go towards other community events.
correct.
So.
He also thought that the events committee was solely the car show, like, the money for the car show, like our
Yeah.
events money, and I was like, no, that's not how it works. It's not just for the car show, we have other events. I don't, just,
Well, what are our options?
my thought is we reimburse him for maybe last year, or maybe the last 2 years, but anything before COVID, we do not reimburse him at all. I also told him I didn't even know if we could do that.
Can we do
I'm
it?
looking at our village attorney who's giving me the side eye. Go ahead.
No, I
Do you have anything?
agree. I don't think there's any law dealing with, you know, late
He's not upset.
reimbursement.
He
Yeah, I
feels
would
like
say-
it's a donation at this point.
No, I mean, you guys have an annual budget and you should know that, and it's not unreasonable for you to,
I explained that to him in the fact that at school, if I purchase something for my classroom and I want to be reimbursed, I have so much time to get reimbursed. And once that time has passed, I can't ask for, hey, I bought this for my classroom last year, I need
Or
reimbursement
2
now.
years ago?
Yes. So I don't know what he's expecting. He has not hounded me about this at all. He's, you know, even at the car show, he wanted to know how much we made at the car show, and I did tell him this really does help with the events, all the events we do in the village. But what do you, I brought it up the last board meeting, and I'm bringing it up because I just need to know what you would like to do. It's not on me. What do you think?
How much is it per year that, I mean, like, if we did this year, how much, do we do overly something for this year and this?
No, we don't, because we paid for them this year.
Okay,
We paid for the dash blacks up front because he kept paying for them and not getting reimbursed because he wasn't turning them in.
Oh.
So he said, could you pay for them this year? I said, yes, that's fine, we'll take care of it.
I mean, I know with community events that I've spent money on, I create the budget for, that if I forget to turn in a receipt, I just kind of go,
Bummer.
and I suck it out, so, I mean, if we were to, in good faith, do 1 year, how much is 1 year?
About $225.
So this year, no, not this year, last year?
Last year. And I could just tell him that and just say, you know, he knows this. I have been very clear in saying,
Yeah.
Dennis, you have to turn in your receipts to Chris. I've said it more than once.
And just taking care of last year.
1 year?
1 year.
I'm, personally, I'm fine with anything really. I think going much past a year
Okay, I would.
is a little much.
Yep, I agree.
I would go past you, because, like I said, looking at community. events.
Well, and we had a very profitable car show. It does really, we did not have a lot of money before the car show. We had like maybe $300 left in our budget after the 3 different concerts we had, and National Night Out, and Christmas parties coming up. So that really does help buffer our events so we can do more things and have more things. So I think he will be happy with that. I think he thinks at this point he's not getting anything. But I will tell him, like, we talked as a board, and I'm totally on the same side. I think everybody, so 1 year,
Yeah,
okay,
agreed.
done.
Do we need to vote on
Roll call?
that? Roll call vote?
Johnson, I,
Whitaker,
Yes or aye?
Hinkle, aye.
Great.
I will, think too, that will help that he doesn't get upset and just say, I don't do it.
Correct.
Right. He is no longer the chair. Kelly Glasson is the chair. He will still definitely help us, and he loves it, but even his wife said, I'm pretty sure you just made a donation to Elmwood Park.
Right.
So Cindy is definitely
Okay, so
understanding.
going forward, if you,
Yes, thank you, Mark.
Make sure,
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
please just, again, remind them, hey, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's.
But if we're covering it from now on, then it won't be a problem.
No. And I've bought things for the car show, and I've gotten reimbursed. He knows
He
better.
knew to do it.
He knows better. He's just,
But we're still giving him, a little more
1
than we
year.
have to.
Yep, totally
Okay.
agreed. And I think that's fine. All right, so next we need the resolution approval of accounts payable for September and October, because we missed both months. I need a motion to approve the accounts payable.
I'll make a motion to approve the accounts payable for both September and October.
Okay, motion by trustee Stein, I need a second.
Second.
Second by trustee Studi. All in favor? Opposed? You guys have it, so passed. I think I forgot to say that earlier, but I think.
You did.
Sorry. Okay, we are adjourned.